Where did my life go, Penny?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're breaking down Raj Koothrappali's story arc in The Big Bang Theory and giving it the tweaks we think the character deserved.
I'm doing this so I can stop being spoiled and, grow as a person.
The character you know. In the very first episode, we're introduced to Rajesh Koothrappali, a brilliant astrophysicist from New Delhi, India. Raj grapples with selective mutism and often tries to distance himself from his cultural roots. Yet there's more to him than meets the eye.
I'm sorry, do you speak English?
Oh, he speaks English. He just can't speak to women.
Really? Why?
He's kind of a nerd.
Despite being a hopeless romantic, Raj struggles to find the love he daydreams about.
You could stand outside his window with a boombox in the air.
That's from Say Anything.
Look, I'm a lonely guy. I watch a lot of movies.
He yearns for independence and his own happily ever after, but faces significant roadblocks. He tends to see himself through his friends' eyes and feels like the odd one out in his family, which includes 5 siblings. Despite his achievements, he's haunted by the feeling of not quite measuring up.
What are you saying? That you're giving up on me? What kind of father gives up on his son?
I have 6 children, 5 of whom are married and self-sufficient. I don't think I'm the problem.
Tethered to his family's wealth, Raj finds himself caught between wanting to break away and be his own person and not wanting to give up the life to which he's become accustomed. If only he were given the chance to explore all his layers and reach his utmost potential, there was a lot of promise for Raj's personal development and growth.
Didn't think this is where my life would be.
Where it went wrong. It would be difficult to deny that some characters seemed to lose direction as the show progressed. Unfortunately, the groundwork for Raj to become one of them was laid out from the very beginning.
Okay, now I just need to make sure I have a Lalita before I meet the grasshopper. It's a sweet green miracle.
He was introduced as this awkward, geeky guy who couldn't talk to most women without a drink in hand. Yet underneath that persona, there was so much wasted characterization potential. He's actually quite successful in his field, yet all of that tends to be overshadowed by his character flaws and some lazy humor at his expense.
Hey, buddy, I'm gonna be in People magazine.
Yeah, call me when you're on the cover.
Comparing Raj to his friends really drives home the disparity. While Leonard and Sheldon have their quirks, they still manage to find success in love.
Do you have any idea what it's like to be the only one without a girlfriend? Even if I get one someday, I'll still be the guy who got a girl after Sheldon Cooper!
Even Howard, who the less said about him in his pre-Bernadette days, the better evolved over time. But Raj? He seemed stuck in a loop of stereotypes, pigeonholed, as MTV India once put it, the stereotypical brown guy, dealing with cultural expectations and personal insecurities. Indeed, Raj often found himself relegated to the role of the perpetual outsider. Whether it was because of his ethnicity, interests, or personal struggles, he became the target of jokes rather than a fully realized character.
You may now thank me.
For what, making me sound like a Simpsons character?
Throughout the series, Raj's cultural background and accent were easy targets for jokes. Even he was no stranger to making the odd disparaging comments about his home country. Take Howard, Raj's best friend. He also often fell into the trap of being a lazy stereotype of Jewish culture, with his quirks and mannerisms reduced to caricature.
I don't get how you can enjoy cricket. It makes no sense.
Did you just come here to complain?
Yeah, that's the sport of my people.
Yet he's probably one of the biggest offenders when it comes to poking fun at Raj's background. What's more, Raj's parents also add to the pressure by portraying him as a disappointment for not conforming to their expectations.
We love you and we accept your alternate lifestyle. Just keep it to yourself.
If that isn't bad enough, practically everyone from his friends to his family and even the occasional prospective romantic partner takes jabs at his sexuality, turning it into yet another target for ridicule.
Well, there's a rumor back in New Delhi that you're, how shall we say,
Comfortable in a sari?
His wide range of interests, which should have been celebrated, often became fodder for humiliation whenever they didn't ally with society's narrow view of masculinity. Moreover, there was this lingering implication that there might be something more to his relationship with Howard than what was on the surface.
So, what's up with you guys?
We're just saying all the things we love about each other.
Oh, like you and I did at couples therapy.
While Howard was in some part allowed to move on from this narrative once he found love with Bernadette, it continued to cast a shadow over Raj until the very end. As the series went on, Raj's storyline shifted further away from his personal growth and focused more on his pursuit of love. It felt like his selective mutism, initially being a big obstacle for him in dating, just disappeared when it no longer served the writers' needs.
I am unlovable.
That's just the booze talking.
No, it's not. I haven't had a drink since last night.
While we're on the subject, the handling of this condition, which falls on the anxiety spectrum, was often played for laughs rather than treated with sensitivity and understanding.
Yo, Raj, talk to me. Sorry, just screwing with ya.
Once Raj found out that a bit of liquid courage could help him feel more comfortable in social situations, he started relying on it more and more. But this often made him come off as obnoxious and hard to handle, almost as if he'd be better off staying quiet.
You have a drink that'll make him less obnoxious?
Drinks do not work that way.
As the show continued, he became increasingly desperate to find his rom-com happy ending, leading him to make some out-of-character decisions while venting his frustrations to anyone who would listen. His infatuation with his friends' partners also doesn't shed much of a positive light here.
You are my heart, my universe, my universe.
Even so, it was a bit of a letdown to see Raj almost end up with someone who might not have been the best match for him. Don't get us wrong, we liked Anu. She's the kind of person you'd love to have as a best friend. She just wasn't the William Thacker to Raj's Anna Scott.
I'm also just a girl. Standing in front of a boy. Asking him to love her.
Another factor that seems to hold Raj back is his need to please his parents, even if that's just so they'll keep funding his lifestyle.
You don't know how much your rent is?
My father pays for it. Do you know how much your rent is?
Yeah.
Well, then double it, because my building's a lot nicer than this, Dom.
Sure, he tries to strike out on his own, but ultimately falls back on his friends for help. Raj does have a breakthrough moment where he realizes that he's betrayed his authentic self to fit into the boxes those around him choose to place him into. But even that doesn't last long.
15 years of constant ridicule. I think our relationship has become toxic.
What are you saying?
I think you and I need to spend some time away from each other.
By the final episode, we were left wondering, hey, what about Raj? Where's his character development? What's next for him? Surely he can't be satisfied seventh-wheeling his friends while they all move on in their respective relationships and his life stagnates. How do we fix it? So, how would we change Raj's characterization and story arc? When The Big Bang Theory hit our screens in 2007, and definitely as it wrapped up in 2019, some of the tropes surrounding Raj were way past their expiration date.
Very funny. Make fun of the foreign guy. For your information, there are 4 times as many Indians as there are Americans, so the way we say it is right.
Say what?
Moustache.
With millions of viewers tuning in each week, his character had the potential to be a trailblazer for inclusion and representation. Now, we're not saying Raj had to become the poster child for Hinduism or Indian culture. That would have been too much pressure for any character.
Why don't Hindus eat beef?
We believe cows are gods.
Not technically. In Hinduism, cattle are thought to be like God.
Do not tell me about my own culture, Sheldon. In the mood I'm in, I'll take you out, I swear to cow.
But imagine if his cultural background was celebrated in a way that felt genuine and balanced. Instead of being the punchline to jokes about his heritage, his friends could have engaged in thoughtful conversations about India and Hinduism, enriching both their understanding and ours.
You've only selected 7 hours of reading material. That's even factoring in your difficulty in parsing American comic book idioms like BAMF and SNCC.
Is that racist? It feels racist.
More diversity in the writer's room would have hopefully been the first and most effective point of call to avoid falling into these pitfalls. If their budget couldn't stretch to that, then who better to help shape Raj's story than Kunal Nair himself?
Religion is a very personal thing. I do go to temple, I don't talk about it.
Including him in brainstorming sessions could have added authenticity and depth to Raj's character, steering clear of the caricature territory. By taking this approach, Raj could have been more than just the token minority. He could have been a beacon for positive representation, showing that diversity is about more than parroting tired stereotypes.
That is so offensive. Does everything you know about Hinduism come from Indiana Jones?
No, there's also a poo from The Simpsons.
Speaking of adding authenticity, did you know that Raj's selective mutism was reportedly inspired by a real-life former colleague of series co-creator Bill Prady?
Howard lives with his mother, and Raj can't speak to women unless he's drunk. Go.
Oh, that's fascinating. Selective mutism is quite rare.
It's pretty unsettling to think that one person's personal struggles can end up as material for a comedy watched by millions worldwide. Selective mutism is no laughing matter. It's a severe form of social anxiety that affects around 1% of the global population. Before Raj, many of us might not have even heard of it.
Hey, at least I can talk to women without being drunk.
Excuse me, I have selective mutism, a recognized medical disorder.
So if the show wanted to tackle such a sidelined and misunderstood condition, they could have done it in a way that educated viewers and showed compassion. Comedy can still play a role, but it should aim to break down stigmas rather than making the individual the punchline.
You have a lot to talk about.
Is that true?
That's why Raj's relationship with Lucy was so refreshing. They both understood each other's struggles and supported one another. If anything, making their respective social anxiety the butt of the joke is what ultimately led to their breakup.
Raj, I can't come to the party. This is all just too much for me. I don't think we should see each other anymore. Sorry, Lucy.
Also, instead of relying on substances, which seemed to cause more problems than they solved, seeing Raj navigate through therapy could have been something a lot of people could relate to.
Hello, Missy. They mentioned there may be side effects.
Imagine the excitement of seeing Raj confidently throw Penny an off-the-cuff good morning after several years of therapy. It would have been just as, if not more rewarding, as when he first spoke to her without the assistance of alcohol.
You're talking to me.
I am. And I'm crying for a whole different reason.
Moving on, remember in Friends when Ross got mocked for trying to dissuade his son from playing with a Barbie doll?
Guess who's here? It's the toughest guy in Toyland, Ben. Real American hero. I'm G.I. Joe. Drop the bar. Drop the bar.
Well, if you put that plot point in a Venn diagram with Groundhog Day, you'd probably land right on Raj in the intersection. His male friends often tease him for enjoying hobbies and interests that are stereotypically seen as girly.
Let's hear all the Raj is a girl jokes.
No, Bernadette told me it isn't nice, and I'm not allowed.
Thank you.
So I won't be making fun of you, or the things you like, or the fact that you just want to have fun.
You may have noticed Raj usually finds solace and acceptance with Penny, Bernadette, and Amy.
Come on.
Girls' night, girls' night.
They don't tend to judge him for who he is or what he likes, and that's why he feels so comfortable around them. It's not about their shared interests, it's about them accepting him without judgment. Still, let's call out the elephant in the room. Howard. He's probably the worst when it comes to making sexist jokes at Raj's expense.
You know, before I came to America, I was filled with confidence. Like, what happened to me?
Hey, is that Raj there at girls' night?
Oh, hey. Hey, Howard.
Just remember, if you fall asleep first, they're gonna freeze your bra.
Maybe it stems from his own insecurities about his relationship with Raj. Regardless, it's not cool. We could definitely do without the whole running gag, especially since it's often steeped in homophobia.
What kind of friend acts that way?
Well, I guess...
It was a rhetorical question. A bad friend.
Penny is obviously Amy's girl crush, yet nobody seems to bat an eyelid. So why should Raj be treated any differently? Back to Howard. One of Raj's biggest flaws is letting others define him and believing their perception of him is accurate.
No wonder I don't have any confidence.
Come on, you can't blame that on me.
Why not? 15 years of constant ridicule. I think our relationship has become toxic.
When it comes to his friendship with Howard, things can get pretty toxic. Howard seems to have a knack for bringing Raj down, even though he's supposed to be his best friend.
I can see you're upset, but I'm gonna need some ground rules. While we're apart, can I see other needy Indian men?
Get out!
In season 11, Raj starts to realize how much Howard's comments have affected his self-esteem and begins to distance himself. But imagine if this storyline had been shifted forward a few seasons. Instead of waiting so long, Raj could have called Howard out much earlier, maybe in season 3 or 4.
Don't you think it's time you two made up?
No, actually, I don't need his negative energy in my life right now. Standing up to him was hard, but it made me realize that I can do anything.
Sure, Howard's off-color quips were meant to be funny, but they often crossed the line into cruelty. Surely comedy giants like Chuck Lorre and Bill Prady could have easily found humor in a storyline where Raj stands up for himself. We imagine plenty of laughs can be found in watching the duo break their relationship down and build it back up on much healthier foundations.
And thank you for mocking me for all of these years. Thank you for making it so easy. Why are you being such a jerk?
A bounce house fight could have easily fit into this narrative too. After that showdown, Howard tends to backslide into his old habits, but eventually, he realizes this is a friendship worth holding on to.
You can't really think this is a good idea.
Of course I don't. What am I supposed to do?
Go stop him. Get your best friend back.
You're my best
We
friend.
don't have time for this. Go!
Raj is also far too dependent on his parents. Yeah, we all have our days where we wish the bank of mom and dad could afford us a life of luxury. But is it worth what it really costs him?
So you boys academics like our son?
Yes.
And your parents are comfortable with your limited earning potential?
Not at all.
Papa, please don't start.
His folks tend to make him feel inadequate, especially when it comes to his dating life. While we're not knocking the cultural tradition of arranged marriages, it's pretty obvious that it's Raj's parents, not Raj, who are all for it. In fact, they seem to be the proudest of him when he lets them call the shots in his love life.
Matchmaking. Very smart move, son. Much better than marrying for love.
In both cases, dealing with Howard's influence and his parents' expectations, Raj demonstrates that he's at his best when he breaks free and takes control of his own life.
I'm a man and I can take care of myself.
That's wonderful.
Yes, that is wonderful. You will no longer be able to accuse me of being spoiled.
I'm so proud of you.
Dad, I'm trying to tell you off and you're ruining it with your delight and relief.
Sure, it's not easy, and he faces plenty of setbacks along the way. But isn't that what life's all about? Taking risks, facing challenges, and coming back even stronger? This is the Raj that audiences could really get behind. The one who's not afraid to put himself out there, even if it means stumbling a few times along the way.
For God's sake, just drive in the knife, why don't you?
What's your problem?
What, you're all thinking it. I'm the only one who hasn't done anything worthwhile.
It was a storyline just waiting to be explored, and the part of Raj's character that feels the most relatable. Unfortunately, it's also the part of his development that ultimately fell to the wayside.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
In our fantasy Raj-centric sequel, we bring back some of those forgotten storylines and characterizations that made us root for him. Sure, he'd still hang out with the gang for takeouts and catch up with the Rostenkowski-Wolowitzes, but he'd also remember his worth. The guy was once listed in People Magazine's 30 Visionaries Under 30.
Because of my discovery, People Magazine is naming me one of the 30 under 30 to watch.
Right.
Congratulations.
That's incredible.
He's significantly contributed to his field, like discovering planetary objects and helping design a space probe for Pluto. Not to mention, he goes from being unable to talk to women to speaking to sizable audiences at planetariums.
If you want to talk impressive, this guy right here discovered a planetary object outside the Kuiper Belt.
He worked on the Mars rover.
He helped launch the New Horizons space probe.
It's not just about career success, though. Raj has always been sweet, funny, and incredibly smart. We'd love for him to realize just how much he has to offer, not just professionally, but as a person. Maybe he'd take a step back and reflect on how people around him have shaped him.
This is a man who is going to great lengths to better himself, even at the risk of being humiliated. And I, for one, think that's very brave.
Perhaps he'd find new friends who would lift him up and encourage him to be himself unapologetically. With their support, he'd gain the confidence to let go of his safety net and confidently stride toward becoming the best version of himself. With that newfound assuredness, Raj would be more open to healthy, fulfilling relationships.
Raj, you're a great guy. You're in a bar full of single women. Let us help you. Yeah, you're a real catch. I know you're shy, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have someone wonderful in your life.
That's sweet of you.
He'd realize that he's worthy of love and respect and wouldn't settle for anything less. This would all lead to the moment where he'd one day be a boy standing in front of a girl asking her to love him.
Are you saying you're just a boy? Standing in front of another boy? Saying you don't want him to leave?
As the credits roll, they'd ride off into the sunset together, and we'd feel like Raj finally got the story he deserved. What would you rewrite in Raj's story? Let us know in the comments.
But by the way, if you're not happy with those pictures, then make some changes.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.